It's not often that I read a story from Reddit of all places, and I'm in awe at the mastery on display when it comes to writing. And then I read Borrasca, and this story is utterly phenomenal. It's beautifully written, despite the horrific subject matter and disturbing details. It is beautifully written. The prose is great, the characters are great, the setups, the payoffs, everything about it. It's a story that will have you hanging on every detail, grasping at it all, wondering where it all leads. And when you get there, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And it's unforgettable. And it makes you want to go back and dive back in and back in and back in. See, that's the thing. It's not one of those stories where you need to have an analysis to enjoy it, but you're going to want to analyze it to enjoy it more, to understand it more. You're going to want to dive back in. So what is Borrasca? Well, Borrasca was originally written by C.K. Walker, whose real name is Rebecca Klingel. I don't know where C.K. Walker came from, but anyway, I want to read more of her writing now. And it was published on this subreddit called No Sleep. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Reddit, but No Sleep is great. But even still, I've read a lot of No Sleep stories, whether they be through YouTubers narrating them, as was the case with this one, or whether they be just reading it. And this is probably the best one I've ever read. It's so unbelievably well done. And before I give you any details in the story, I'm going to say I recommend you go in blind. I'll give you a little bit more if you want, but I went in very much blind, not knowing what this story was about at all. I went in basically based on the recommendation of Wendigoon. I just saw a little clip of Wendigoon saying it was his favorite short story ever. And before he even described it or got into detail, I stopped the clip and I listened to it myself. And man, it's so good. It's so good. What I love about this story is that it's like a mystery. I don't even want to tell you all the genres. I'll say mystery and horror and whatever else you're going to find out when you read it, because it really, you want to discover it the way the writer tells you about it. It's one of those few stories where you have such a comfort and understanding in the writer's ability that every time a detail comes out and you know it doesn't make sense, you don't go, oh, that's bad writing. You go, it's going to make sense. That's there for a reason. I'm going to put it here and find out why. And slowly the puzzle pieces come together until you get that gut punch at the end. And man, it's tough. It's a tough story. And let me say this. If you are squeamish at all or don't like horror, this is probably not a story for you. It is exceptionally disturbing. But if you can handle all that, give it a listen, give it a read. It is so good. Now, apparently the podcast that they made with Cole Sprouse is worth listening to. I didn't know about that until after I listened to the YouTube narration, so I might have to dive into this story again, which I am okay with because it is that damn good. It's not one of those stories where it doesn't make sense. And you go, no, you have to analyze it. No, it works, and you're going to want it. I love this story so much. I think it is brilliant. Basically, what Borrasca is about is it's about this boy named Sam Walker, and him and his family move to this place called Drisking because his dad gets a new job with the sheriff's department. And then he learns about these people called the Skin Men and about the mysterious disappearances of children. And I don't even want to give any more details, even early details in the story than that. I don't even really think you have to know that, because the twists and turns that this story goes on are best experienced as the writer intended for you to experience them. Not by a summary, the story itself. And so this is just a video of me giving my highest recommendation. I would love to do an in-depth discussion one day with some people on this, or maybe even a thorough, full analysis of this story at some point. And as a writer, I hope one day to be able to write something of this caliber. I don't know if I ever will, but I want to one day. It's one of those stories that makes me sit back as a writer in awe and feel inspired. A little frightened because I'm like, will I ever write something that good? This had to have taken years to write. With the amount of intricacies and details and the way it's structured, this had to have taken years to write. And then it was posted for free online, but you know what? She got some movie deals out of it. She's very well known. Clearly, this was a good step for her, and it's inspiring. This is completely and totally inspiring that if you put your heart and soul into something and put it out there, it'll pay off. And it's also inspiring because I'm like, how did she do it? With some of the ways this goes, I can't recommend this story highly enough. As a writer, I want to quickly talk about my comic book, Phenomenova. Phenomenova is a superhero comic book set 20 years after World War III that follows the idealistic son of a World War III veteran who is struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal and finds himself awakening with lightning powers and super speed. One of the things I wanted to do is really tap into the heroic ideals that I think need to really be crystallized, no pun intended, in this story. It's very much a different story from Borrasca, which is very much, oh my God, it's a downer. This is an upper, I guess, an uplifting story. And it's one I hope you guys really enjoy. It's going to be 64 pages in the first issue, and I want to write this series for the rest of my life. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, sign up for the comic below. Keep an update on notifications. I do want to have a website that's going to launch soon. I want to have all kinds of stuff available, but for now, keep an eye on that. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more content like this, let me know. If you have any other stories you want me to cover, if you want me to talk about this subject more in depth, let me know that too. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep up to date on my channel and all kinds of stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.